In today's video, I got the rarest and most expensive LEGO Ninjago set ever. It was so rare, in fact, that it was only sold at one store. And this is part of the reason that if you want a new copy today, it'll cost you $1,000. So for 2 years, I browsed the internet trying to find a good enough deal on this set until I finally found it. The biggest reason why this set is so hard to come by is because in 2011, LEGO Ninjago had released their first wave of sets, and every set was commercially available at every major retail store except for the 2521 Lightning Dragon. They sent this one only to Toys R Us. So you could only get the set if you were around in 2011 and you walked into a Toys R Us and paid $79.99. I did not pay $79.99. Whatever though, you only live once. So here it is in all its glory. It just arrived in the mail. I could not believe that I had this set in hand, even for the price that I paid. So the biggest issues I'm looking for is any damage to the jaw or wing pieces, because these pieces only came out in this set and are very expensive to replace. The cheapest price you can buy this jaw for on Bricklink right now is $60, and there are only 3 listings. And these are the 2 bad jaws that I had bought previously before finally buying this beautiful one right here. As we talked about before, the next thing that jacks up the price of the set so much are these wing pieces right here. It's very hard to find all 8 of them together in a lot, but last month on Bricklink, one lot of 8 sold with $13 each. But that doesn't even include shipping. And without shipping, our total comes to $104 if you want to buy those parts right now. And then last but not least, the minifigure that makes up the bulk of the price, JDX. If you want to buy this figure on its own, expect to shell out $60 used or $90 to $100 new. Alright, now that all that boring stuff is done, we built up the set, but we don't just have the set, we also have the super rare instructions. Actually, I had to track these down separate, but something about having them just makes the set so much better, so I had to. So, in the first book, this is the one that makes you build the copter. And it's got like all the minifigures in the front, and then those 2 rare, and then the back has the classic old Ninjago logos. I won't spend too much longer talking about the books, I just thought they were kind of cool. So obviously in the second book it makes you build the dragon, and then in the back you finish it, and then it's like got the logo. I'm pretty sure they still do those, like warning you not to hit anyone. I don't know. And then in the very back, the coolest part is it has all the old sets, and I looked at this for a super long time, and then for some reason, on the right page, it thinks these are collectibles, even though they're all super generic parts. I don't know. And then it's got the old 2012 Snick on the back. And then on the very last page, it's talking about LEGO Universe, which flopped. I've got everything beautifully displayed on my desk, and I think I'm going to start next with the minifigures. The second good guy that we get in this set is the original Sensei Wu. He's came out in 3 sets, including this one, the Fire Temple, and his own blister pack. If you want this figure now, expect to pay just shy of $4 used or $8 new. This is a great figure for the time, great design on the back, he's got leg printing, and his design really hasn't changed since 2012, other than the black robe changing to white. Alright, now let's quickly do the villains before we move on to the main builds. I've never been much of a fan of the villains, so I'm just going to go through them quickly. This is Cruncha. He's not super interesting, but the one cool thing about him is he's very different than he is in the show, just because these sets came out before the show did. Come out in 3 sets, including this one, his own little set with Kai, and the Fire Temple. If you want him today, it won't cost you a lot, $3 new or $9 used. This is the last minifigure, and he's supposed to pilot the copter. His name is Fracjaw, and he's supposed to be exclusive to this set, but the only thing that makes him exclusive is those helmet pieces, and you can get those anywhere. If you want him today, you have to pay $3 used or $7 new. Last before we move on to the actual build is JDX. This is a great figure. I love the dragon. It's so shiny. And my favorite part is how it actually says his name on the very back. I just love the amount of detail that LEGO put into this figure. As many of you know, there's a reason they call this set the Lightning Dragon Battle and not the Lightning Dragon. It's because it comes with this build right here. And it's a pretty substantial side build. Its main function is this claw back here. And we can use this to snatch up Sensei Wu, and then as I show you right here, we pull him in, and then we can actually lower him, or we can bring him up. The next main play feature is this tail piece back here, and then we move to the side of the build, and it's got these boosters right here. They are supposed to have flame pieces. I don't have those in for some reason. And then we have the jaw. The jaw actually moves, which is pretty cool, and then the top opens up, and you can put our exclusive Fracjaw inside. That's pretty cool. And yes, the propellers do spin, and the projectiles do launch. Now it's time for the best part of the video. We finally get to review the dragon. I love this thing so much. I'm so excited to talk about it. So, starting off, we have the middle part of the dragon that Jay sits on. All the other dragons, all the other ninjas, they actually sit in the middle. But Jay's the only one that sits on the neck, just because this dragon is so much larger than all the other dragons that LEGO Ninjago has made. This dragon is one of the most posable dragons that they've ever made. But it comes at a cost. It is very brittle. Those tooths that you see on the wings come off super easily, but the wings look amazing. And then moving to the top of the dragon, we have these Ninjago signs. Typically we only get one, but in this set we get two. Then panning down, the dragon looks great from the front. We're looking mainly at the face here. So let's turn this thing on the side, and let's look at the 3 joints on the main body. This thing's super posable, and it's got these little blue spikes running down the end. And if we move all the way down the dragon, we look at the very end of the tail, and it's got all these cheese slopes that represent lightning. Then on the very end of the dragon, we have this piece that we've seen many times to represent lightning. So I've pretty much described the whole dragon, but I haven't really gone through the actual posability of it. The wings have ball joints on the end that can move up and down, and they can be posed any way you like. The thing with the head though is there was not a ton of posability. You can barely move it up and down. You can see me kind of struggling here, but that's okay. That pretty much concludes everything I have to say about the dragon. I'm just going to shoot it once to show you how it works. So the last exclusive piece that I didn't touch on previous in the video is this blue ball. It is a slightly different shade than all the other blue balls. For some reason this one had to be different. I don't know why LEGO did that. But I'm very lucky that the seller that I got this one from had 2 of them. I'm just taking one last look at that beautiful design on the head before we go ahead and shoot Cruncha. Come on, come on. There we go. I'm not going to try it again because I don't want to mess with the jaw anymore, but that's pretty much it for this video. I had a ton of fun making this video, and I had a ton of fun building this set. Thanks for watching.